The transfer portal giveth, and the transfer portal taketh away. And for the Sooners, we picked up some pretty good components, and we just lost a couple of players, and one that kind of surprised me on the youth side. So we're going to jump into that. Plus, Oklahoma is hosting some more players, so the strategy around the transfer portal is taking a little bit of a turn. Let's dive into that. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you for pulling up to the channel. This video is powered by our partners over there at BetUS TV. Check them out here on YouTube. They're giving you all the analysis and stats in the fantasy and gambling world. Check them out here on YouTube, BetUS TV. Portal, man, I'm not going to lie with y'all. I enjoy this season. It is a little bit stressful for some. A lot of people don't enjoy it because there's so much coming out, but there's always some good stuff to me that comes down, because in the world of the transfer portal, you get to have two things. One, if you have players that you don't think is going to play, you want to give them an opportunity to go somewhere, you can. Or players that you all think is not very good, they can go ahead and send them out the door. But also, you also lose some players you may want to keep. And now with the roster limits, the cutting had to go down. Oklahoma has to get down to 105, and they should be at that point, especially once they add a couple more players. So right now, these are the names of the players that we saw hit the portal. Let me pop this up. So you saw some movement. You saw Peter Shudd jumped in. Michael Patterson McDonald. We've talked about Sam Franklin, the running back. He's out. I'm not sure why they have him listed as a freshman, because he's definitely not a freshman. But he is in the portal. And then, of course, Devon Mitchell hit the portal. And then you just recently lost out on Jocelyn Malaska, which I like Malaska, the big corner. He played at Utah, transferred to Oklahoma, 6'2", from Bethany. I thought that he was going to be able to be a rotational component. He jumped into the portal. And then today, here on Friday, kind of on the Friday news dump, Oklahoma saw one big one. To me, it's going to be Josh Isosa. Now, on Isosa, he was a 3-star player out of Edmond, Santa Fe, so he's a local boy. Really big, really big player that I was hoping that, Oklahoma was going to be able to hang on to. So Josh was the backup center for the Sooners all last year. He'll have 4 years left of eligibility. He's not losing eligibility or anything. So, yeah, Oklahoma loses out on a backup. Now, for Josh, with him leaving, I mean, he was coming in 6'3", 300 plus pounds. Him leaving really kind of leads the way for a Sean Hutton as well as Owen Hollenbeck to really refine their game right behind Jake Michla. Because with Jake coming in from Stanford, you kind of saw the writing on the wall for some of the line. And I thought that Jake would play multiple interiors, but it appears he's going to come in and immediately be your backup center and probably take the starting spot next season. And that way, Hollenbeck as well as Sean Hutton can really refine their game, maybe play one of the guard spots a little bit to get some experience. But if you got an opportunity to get yourself a veteran offensive lineman, you get it. But now you got two freshmen behind them, which now these two freshmen will get 2 years. So they'll be redshirt sophomores by the time they actually hit the field. So I don't think it's a bad thing. Let me know what y'all think. These are our departures. Hop in the comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts. Shout out to our partners over at BetUS TV. They're going to hook you up here on YouTube. They got all the analysis and the breakdowns of everything going on, from the odds to over-unders, as well as the spreads. And like right now, we were looking at the championships for the spring, and Oklahoma's still sitting at plus 7,000. Now, that may adjust once spring ball comes down, so we'll have a new graphic at that time. But BetUS can give you all the breakdown on that. They'll break down the NBA playoffs. They're going to break down all of that. So check them out. Search here on YouTube, BetUS TV, where the game begins. So Oklahoma's got some interesting guests coming to visit over the next couple of days. Some that kind of shocked your boy. Let's pull this up. Let me go ahead and get a couple of these players out that we are expecting to pull up at the school. So Oklahoma's got a visit in a couple of key spots that, well, one spot that two spots we definitely could use, and then two of them that just kind of jumped out. First off, Lance Mason, tight end from Missouri State University. Yeah, I know, smaller school. He was a 3-star tight end back in the day, but he's from Rockwell, Texas, which is right outside like the Dallas area. It's not really in the Metroplex, so it's right outside of Dallas. But supposedly it sounds like he has a prior relationship with John Mateer. So it could be one of those situations where John is trying to recruit one of his old boys, because it kind of makes sense. It's like somebody mentioned that he knew him. And if Oklahoma's going after him, that's actually a pretty darn big one, in my opinion. That'd be a pretty big deal. He was pretty solid, had 34 catches for 590 yards and 6 touchdowns last season, averaging like 17 yards per catch. I know y'all would love to have a tight end with those type of statistics, right? Right? Am I crazy? No? I know you would. Don't play yourself. Now, you may be asking, Jay, we've got like 30 tight ends. We've been bringing them in. What's going on? Well, I think we're just trying to find someone to step out. Not saying that we don't have that yet. We're still waiting to see what Kanik does at the kind of H-back tight end role. Hearing good things about Kent and Huggins. You're not sure. You're still dealing with injuries with McIntyre and Helms. So with Mitchell gone, you may want to go ahead and bring yourself one more in and see if you can get someone to walk in there and take the position. Just take the spot and own it. Maybe Lance Mason can be that. I know in Arbuckle's offense, not a lot of tight end stuff, but enough to where it's SEC, you're going to need a tight end. So that's one. Another visit that came down the line is going to be on the defensive line. Southeast Missouri defensive lineman Jalen Stone. Jalen Stone, 6'3", 295-pound defensive tackle. He is looking at Oklahoma, and he is setting up a visit now. So he's expected to be visiting very soon. At his size, he's big. What's kind of crazy is you add him with David Stone, now you get to sit like Stonewall. Just use the word stone over and over again. Yeah. I think that he's decent sized stature. Looks like a big kid, like a really big kid. You also remember he's from Athens, Georgia. So he's a Georgia boy, and at his size could easily be something that Oklahoma can get. Now, the good thing for him is he's got 3 years of eligibility left, so he's a redshirt freshman, which means it basically gives you another quote-unquote Trent Wilson or even David Stone, gives you another young defensive tackle that can be a part of the mix. And, yeah, we need to have a nice stable of young defensive linemen. So as soon as they're looking at him, he's probably not overly expensive in the portal, but he's someone that's be a really good project, especially out of Georgia, out of Athens. If he balls out, he gets better. And next season we play against Georgia and we go to Athens, he can go home and play good. Hey, can't call it. Jalen Stone's pulling up. And then Oklahoma has been reported to be in contact with former Washington and Texas wide receiver Jonte Cook. Anwar Richardson from Orange Bloods had tweeted out former 5-star wide receiver Jonte Cook is visiting Arizona State this weekend, and he's also drawn interest from Houston, Oklahoma, BYU, Syracuse, and Indiana, and Arkansas since he's entered the portal. And the rumor has it is that Oklahoma has legitimate interest. They may be asking, Jay, why in the heck would they go for this problem child? It sounds like they're just trying to find ways to win. And I do not know if Cook would fit here. Granted, he did say this was his dream school. So there is always a possibility that that's the one thing we're going after. And so I'd like to remind you all, the portal just opened this week and we've got, 10 days? So we've got about 4 more days of this insanity. It's Friday, so there's going to be probably a few more players that's going to jump in and Oklahoma's going to have interest in. But I was super intrigued when I saw that Oklahoma is going to have interest in Jonte Cook because, you know, with all the crap that he's got going on, it sounds like we decided, hey, let's go talk about some W's. And so because of that, keep your head on the swivel, guys. Keep your heads on the swivel. So let me know what you think. Hop in the comments. Want to hear your thoughts. Intrigued by this at all? Because kind of am, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'd probably prefer not. If you made it this far, like the content, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'd love for y'all to join this family. Sooner fans talking OU football, SEC, college football in general. Had a blast doing it. All right, we will talk more portal stuff. I'm going to be honest. I have a very, very funny feeling that we may see a dump later tonight for a player that could surprise you. What I will do is keep my eyes open, keep my eyes peeled, and I will let you all know if this happens. I know that we're still shopping for a wide receiver. We're still shopping for probably a tight end. We may shop for a corner, but all of those are wants. None of them, it sounds like, needs, because it sounds like the staff does like what they have, but they will entertain if the perfect opportunity comes up. We'll see what happens. We'll talk soon. Shout out to BetUS TV. Check them out here on YouTube. Search for them. They will hook you up with all the odds and analysis that you're looking for in the sports betting world. Check them out, BetUS TV. We'll talk soon. Peace.